What's up, guys? We got the first advanced game of this SPL. We've got Golden Sun against Danilo, two good friends and top of the line advanced players. Golden Sun is leading off with a taunt Tyranitar, so that's cool. Danilo making a nice play trying to scout rather than get Magnetoned on turn 2. This could be a taunt Toxic Tyranitar, which is a set I'm very fond of. Midgame came up with it. It's going to go for a Toxic right here. It does. That's not good. Of course, if Danilo is rest, then that could be nothing more than a minor inconvenience. But the common last two moves are Rock Slide and Earthquake. But I think Danilo can go back to Scarm with relative safety here. Not much can be said. Yep, Scarm switch would have been good there. He does go to it. Right on, my guy. I swear I don't actually say my guy in deadass and God forbid be in real life, but I'm just so used to it. Anyway, here comes Moltres. The Scarm gets a spike down. If we're about to be met with a fat-ass special wall, Blissey, then that could be bad. But a Will-O-Wisp would mess up a T-Tar. Sets up a sub. Sets up a sub, which could mean a sub Will-O-Wisp, 2 attacks, Fire Blast, HP Grass is a very, very good set. There's the Wisp. He could be Morning Sun if he has, other weather changing, which really just means Rain Dance. Because the only other viable Sunny Day user is Exeggutor, which somehow I don't think we'll be seeing, especially with Celebi on the team. So it'd be, Kingler, Ludicolo, Omastar, or some other niche shit. Anyway, breaking the sub, missing a Toxic switch in. We don't know much about Celebi, but if we're seeing offense, like Moltres would suggest, then I would expect, I guess what I expected was wrong. I was going to say, Calm Mind, Baton Pass, but Leech Seed gets in the way of that. I mean, it doesn't 100% rule it out, but it makes it very unlikely. Anyway, Danilo's stacking his spikes, and this could get ugly fast, but Metagross is one of the best Pokemon at breaking a game wide open. Of course, when it switches into Skarmory, then it's a little dubious, as he misses the mash, which would have been annoying with Leech Seed, but it's still early in the game, so Pert comes in, and back to Metagross. Great move by Golden Sun there, either taking the Leech Seed and mashing some more, or catching the Blissey switch. Of course, he could bomb and take out Skarm or Pert whenever he so desired, but he has to make sure that he can take advantage of the removal of that Pokemon. And right now, I think he can just, with Toxic Pert, then he can just mash away. Blissey makes it a little likelier that it is rest, because, it would allow for some more full stall stuff rather than a more offensive spiking team that just needs Pert to, hit things with Hydro and Protect and doesn't have time for it to sit around with rest. And can't let it be complete spike bait either. So, Golden Sun saying his last is Zapdos. I would really, really hope it's not, because in that case he has no way of getting around Blissey other than hoping that his Metagross can break through the opposing physical wall. Of course, Taunt Tyranitar does do very well versus this set of Pokemon, but something like a Dugtrio can just cut that off. So you can't rely on it entirely. So Golden Sun has been relatively stall weak in the past, so good call by Danilo. So let's see, I think Meteor Mash is the clear play here, because Skarms tend to be split F in this day and age. Fortress, Danilo is running his classic Skarm Fori stall. Of course, if Golden Sun gets an attack boost, that could be nasty, but Skarm Fori also means the last is Dugtrio. So, this is Earthquake. It can wear away at Metagross. Of course, Leech Seed on Golden Sun's team is actually very nice, because I tend to not like Leech Seed Celebi a lot, because it tends to be, Skarm bait and, Fortress bait. But if he can dissuade Fortress somehow, maybe it's Leech Seed HP Fire, which would be very good, then he can use the Leech Seed for recovery for his pokes to give them continued chances at breaking through things. So, he's just going to T-Tar. I'm not sure how I feel about that. He gets the third layer of spikes. HP Bug Fortress is going to annoy this. I mean, even Earthquake does. It's so Golden Sun's really got to be careful. I would hope for his last, it should be. I mean, I don't know, because when you've got a Moltres, then you kind of want the special attacking Blissey with Explosion, which is Gengar or Regice, and you want Dugtrio. Other ways are just a little too unreliable. So, anyway, Golden Sun's pretty free at throwing out Rock Slide. The thing with this Tar is it wants bulk, it wants a lot of attack, and it also wants speed. And the reason why all are important here is because you want the speed so you can taunt Skarm. You want the bulk, obviously, to live Dugtrio and such. But without spikes, then Earthquake will not kill Dugtrio. You need close to max attack to be able to kill full health Doug. So, Nilo's going to Pert, dodges a slide. That's annoying, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It would have lost, 15-ish more percent, which, is notable, but Celebi's in, 3 spikes, and he goes to Skarm. Great move there. So he doesn't really lose much, even if Golden Sun does some wacky staying and shit. Of course, now he's just going to be throwing around Toxic, assuming he is Toxic Skarm. He could be Taunt. He could just Whirlwind around, and he shows last Suicune. Now, Suicune is actually something that could be a problem, because if it is Crocune, then, this Blissey shit is totally irrelevant. So, we see a Surf. That's step 1 to finding out if it's Crocune, because Crocune would never run Hydro Pump. So, but if somehow, I don't know, it just feels like a very, very easily preyed on by stall team, and counting on Danilo to not stall is unreliable at worst. So that Seismic Toss does 25, so that means that it is max HP or extreme, or it means it's 403 HP. Because it's 403 HP because max would take less than 25, so that would be sub. So, yep, there's rest, so that's good at least. He's going to have to Whirlwind it with Skarm. Of course, the danger is if it Sleep Talks, which it very well could, he doesn't need Ice Beam, he's got Pert, then Skarm could be in some trouble now that it's at +2. Sleep Talk, rest. He's going to have to force it to rest, which is not hard. So, and then he's going to have to go to Skarm on the rest. So, one more Seismic Toss. It's good that he has well, Toxic didn't really make a huge difference. Toxic Blissey is not seen that much very often. Or, I suppose it is, but Thunder Wave has just become more and more common, kind of in the RBY sense that, such as, oh, Calm Mind, now that thing's really gonna hurt. Of course, even if Skarm dies on this Sleep Talk, or if he, surfs here, which would be, stupid, then, actually, it doesn't kill from that high. Actually, it might. It depends if he's Impish Skarm or not. We did not see it take a Meteor Mash, so we cannot Calc, actually. That mash actually does matter. That matter miss. So, if Skarm, dies here, then Dugtrio picks it off, so Golden Sun's got to be very wary of that. And we're going to Doug. Sometimes, some stalls, such as this, do run Adamant Dugtrio, which is going to do that much. And that is a 3-hit KO 85% of the time in Sand. So, of course, there is pressure and there is Sleep Talk, so it's entirely reliable, but it is something. It is some recourse. He has no choice but to go to Scarf here, I think. It's not even a contest. I mean, what does he... Because he's still got Pert and Fortress, and, I mean, Dugtrio just destroys Golden Sun's team. So, I think if he keeps Blissey around and, it's very likely it is Rest Pert. And then, it's still looking fine. So, I don't know what Danilo's getting so worried about. Maybe he's thinking real far ahead. So, Skarm, right? Now, if he does Sleep Talk Surf and it kills, which I would be very, very surprised at. Unless, I mean, I suppose I could see it, but Crocune versus, standard Skarm, let's say Impish at +3. Impish Max Bref is doing, oh, I see what he means. Yeah, it would need a max roll if it was just max Impish, but Nope, he does not get the 33, and he rolls in Moltres. So now the name of the game with Danilo is going to be, whirlwinding Coon around, just whirlwinding as much as possible and getting into a shitty position with rest so you can pick it off with Doug. And Golden Sun not getting any luck with rest, but his team was, I mean, at least he's got the Crocoon. I was really worried this was just going to be a rout, but that at least makes things interesting. So, uh, Moltres without recovery, I mean, Sunny Day would have helped a lot because, Morning Sun does 75 in Sun, so he can. I mean, he still doesn't want to be, taking Toxic from Blissey, but I think his move here is to go to. God, it's a tough one. He has the freest Toxic ever because Spike's still digging to Metagross, and he's got Fortress to throw away. And so, yep, there's Celebi. He's going to recover up, but this is a free Dugtrio kill. So that was the issue there. I mean, the Dugtrio is just really the issue for Golden Sun's team. I mean, along with Stall. And the new sleep mechanics with Sleep Talk mean that since he did not sleep a turn without using Sleep Talk, then he has 2 sleep turns left, so that's even worse. I don't know why he's not going to Doug. I mean, surely Golden Sun, he knows that Golden Sun knows that it's the last, and it would need to, he can't live from 75 or 74. Celebi, which bold max, which I'm almost positive it isn't. Oh, wow, maybe. Wow. Well, okay, it still needs an inordinate amount of bulk that it almost certainly does not have. So, he whirlwinds into Gross, which is not a bad whirlwind, because he's going to be taking something, a big chunk out of something. That Meteor Mash does a lot. That means that Pert, I think that means Pert is, stocking up on some Spadef EVs, which could make sense if it was Curse Rest. Of course, I don't believe in, fully specially defensive Swampert on Curse, because that's just silly, but... he's in a conundrum. I mean, it's not over, but, I'm not sure why he's letting Pert get weakened, because Fortress I don't think it has Boom on this team. It's too stally. Not that means much, but here comes Moltres on Earthquake. Good move. Recognizing that it was not going to be Hydro on this team. So this does scare it out. Now he's got a double, but see, this is the problem when you've got, a bunch of special attackers and no way to really pressure Bliss on switches like this. It's just a mess. Because, I mean, you can go to Metagross, and, Pert's a little more weakened, but he's still got the 40 that I think he should have gone to in the first place. He's getting worn down, and then there's also Doug. So, Celebi's nice, but Leech Seed is going to annoy him, but it's a temporary solution. So, I mean, he does still have a lot of PP, but he's going to have to figure out some sort of plan if he wants to break through. Danilo going for the Ice Beam crit there because he will take that KO if it's given to him. I think he's got to go. No, he doesn't have to go Dugtrio here. I mean, if it's Adamant, then it could be for, that's doing that much to max. But he's going to T-Tar on the free recover, because that's fine. Golden Sun can't really punish it too bad. It's going to be a Pursuit Tar, because I think he could feasibly be HP Ghost Fortress, but I just don't think that's Danilo's style, especially on this team, because he's got the T-Tar. So I think, it feasibly could be HP Ghost, but I just think it's Pursuit. And that would mean we're going to be seeing a crunch here. Very, very free crunch. So, I'm interested in what, his other moves could be, I don't know, Calm Mind Psychic? That's a good set. Sorry for the pause, I had to check my phone real quick. So we see a Leech Seed, a Crunch, Special Defense drop, and that's going to make it really nice. Oh, he got another one, my goodness. So Celebi's just pretty much, done for, but, I mean, these are desperate moves of a desperate man. I mean, he can't really punish Danilo. He's not doing any damage to him. He's just got to, so... Oh, he gets him there. Oh, wow. That was a pretty disgusting sequence. Even though I don't think it really mattered in the grand scheme of things, but, I mean, this game is still going to come down to, well, what he could do is go to Metagross and try to blow up Scarm, but Danilo would likely to get rid of the phasing option. I mean, Tyranitar could feasibly be Crunch Pursuit Roar, and assumedly last would be, Fire Move, but Danilo is smart. I guess he is that actually works out for Golden Sun because he gives his Tar a bunch of Leech Recovery, which could keep it out of Doug range. I don't think that's going to matter because whether Doug is at 1 HP or it's full 213 HP is pretty irrelevant. Oh, it's HP Grass, okay. So let's Targo, so here comes Doug. And Golden Sun's like, come on, no Doug, but I mean, what else was that going to be? I mean, you cannot run Scarm Fortress without Doug. So, now it's 100% in range and it won't have to take a return Earthquake. So, yeah, and Doug's just gonna pick him apart. And the fact that he still got the 2 sleep turns. I mean, it still could get messy, but I just don't think. Thinking, like, he's got to go to Moltres here, that's no doubt. And then he's got to try and take advantage of Bliss somehow. I mean, the things he removes have to serve a purpose. But the problem is that... Oh, I finally Wisp Blissey. Maybe he's gonna... Ooh, that's interesting, actually. He can try and... Well, no, that's never gonna work out. If it was Toxic, then, hell yeah. You sub on Blissey until it, keeps getting worn down, and then you get to kill something else because he has to switch out. So, but, with Burn, in Softball, that plan is never really going to work. So... The problem is that he has to try and remove something, important with Metagross before going for the Crocoon plan. But Danilo can easily keep the important things away from it. He's not forced to switch in anything else, and then just Dugtrio. And Coon is at what? It's at full, I believe, but it's got 2 sleep turns left. Not that it couldn't get messy with the Surf, but it's not going to be. It's realistically not going to be threatening Scarm's phase with Sleep Talks, and if he Sleep Talks and gets phased, which he will, he still won't be waking up, so it'll be even worse. It's an example of Sleep Talk mechanic just being awful. So Meta's coming in, but he just sacks the useless Fortress. I don't know why he's... Well, actually now that Tar's out of the picture, he can definitely sack Pert. That's not an issue. So... And, if Golden Sun switches out, which, I mean, sure he could, but not really going... Because, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. Since, if he kills Pert, then, he hasn't accomplished anything. Or if he doesn't kill Pert, he hasn't accomplished anything. And even if he does kill Pert, and, his meta's taking 3 more spikes, and he can't even switch to Blissey Seismic Toss anymore. So, unless this is a Curse Pert, Danilo's appears to have the faster thing, leftovers, so he's going to finish that off. So, good move on Golden Sun's, and I was expecting a rest from Danilo. So he did get rid of the Pert, but he's still got the Fortress to waste against Meta, and then finish it off with Dugtrio. So good move on Golden Sun's end, but it was desperate. Like, if he did kill the Pert, then he killed the Pert that wasn't stopping anything on his team, and then gets dugged. So he did take the alternate option of Metagross. So I guess I don't know why he sacked Pert to Golden Sun's Pert. I guess he didn't want to take a Torn Hydro or something. Oh wow, we see Rest. Oh. Wow, that team is so Scarm weak, man. I mean, I guess if he can boom it with Meta, then... Well, Toxicing Pert, and then letting Metagross... Actually, that's good, because Taunt Toxic versus Scarm Pert means that You Toxic Pert, and then Scarm is forced to fight Metagross, which lets you explode on it. And okay, so yeah, I can see that. So that's a feasible strategy. And I guess he just got unfortunate in that he ran into, Dugtrio and Fortress alongside it. So, Curse Pert almost, didn't it show, no, it didn't. I guess it didn't really have anything to show Protect against. So he wakes up, he freezes Scarm. Uh-oh. I think it's, well, Curse Pert actually has trouble because it's going to be, and that Scarm is at least very close to max special defense. But what that shows is that if it is Curse Pert, then it still struggles to actually beat Scarm because it has to use 14 more Ice Beams, and he's doing a net 13%. So although I guess this does make Crocoon a little more dangerous, but Crocoon still has one sleep turn left and he'll be at 50. So I mean, he's going to have a lot of chances to thaw out, too. And it's a 20% chance, so he pretty much needs to get a Drachi Psychic Spadef drop. I mean, there's no, the move is clear for Danilo here. You just gotta stay in and try and wake up, because Pert's not really doing any damage. I mean, Curse Pert, if Scarm goes down, then that is an issue. Yes, Curse Pert Crocoon, surprisingly making this a game. So, even though the spike problem is, I guess he doesn't have infinite whirlwinds, so there's that. Interesting method of beating Saul, actually. Is the timer on? Will these idiots move? So, I don't know what the hell they're thinking about. Well, no, Golden Sun could feasibly switch to, I mean, Scarm doesn't have infinite whirlwinds, but Pert does not have infinite rests. Although, I mean, Kuhn and him together have a hell of a lot, so... for Golden Sun, I think your move is clearly Moltres here. Or, I mean, if it is Curse Pert, then I guess you just gotta spam Ice Beam, because otherwise you will never touch Scarm. Because, as soon as Metagross comes in, 4 sack, and, God, he should have kept the Pert against his Pert. That was good move by Danilo there. So he can always switch back to Scarm for extra lefties on an attempted Earthquake. Because Golden Sun won't want to waste Ice Beams against Skarmory. So... Oh, I'm not in a rush anymore. Looks like we're catching the later movie. Okay. Alright, so... My full attention is here now. Anyway, Will-O-Wisp, Moltres getting worn down. So, yeah, good move from Danilo, and I guess he's trying to wear... see, whenever I see a team struggling to break through Blissey with a bunch of special attackers, it's just annoying. But I guess he can go for the last mon approach too, but it's got to be last mon Crocoon, because there's a very real chance that Scarm just stalls him out of Ice Beams with switches and switchbacks. Especially because Blissey can probably force him to rest, and then while he's sleeping, then he can switch to Scarm for extra leftovers. Soft-boiled, 1 turn of sleep left, so he can sleep talk here safely. Actually, the Suicune is, Suicune's a problem now that Scarm is frozen, actually. Oh, wow. Danilo, I don't know if I should believe Golden Sun that he doesn't know how much sleep it is in, but it would be very sad if neither of them knew. Anyway, he can sleep talk safely here. Because Fortress isn't booming, I would assume. I think Danilo likes to run counter on it. I think at this point, because hoping for Scarm to thaw out is kind of unreliable, then he has to Seismic Toss and then go for the Dugtrio strat. Matter of fact, I think it might be... No, he can't go Dugtrio now because he wakes up after this turn. Because if he Sleep Talks, let's think about all these. If he Sleep Talks and Blissey stays and it's Seismic Tossing, which means rest next turn. And then more Sleep Talk, obviously. If Scarm, then, you just surf and try to kill it. And, oh, he's going 40. Maybe he does have Boom. He doesn't Sleep Talk, so he does not know. The sleep thing, that's a shame. But he wakes up now. So... I mean, I think Danilo is just bluffing him because I've never really seen an Explode Fortress. That's such a hardcore stall team. It has enough problems with its moveset as is. You want Hidden Power, sometimes you want Earthquake, you want Counter, you want Explosion, you want Toxic even. I've even seen Light Screen. So, I think, I mean, I suppose he could, if Danilo has Explosion, then this is over anyway. But I think, because if you switch out, then, you go to Moltres, then you let that die, and you just assume that he doesn't have Explode for the next time. Actually, he doesn't have to Explode yet. Because he is specially defensive. Oh, I guess he did, though. Wow, that did fucking nothing. Well, now it's going to come down to Sleep Talk shit. Actually, no, it doesn't. Now Danilo wins because Earthquake and then Seismic Toss. Actually, not necessarily. Even if he does get the Surf here, then he still can... Actually, no, he should have gone Blissey. Because that 2 KOs and doesn't risk, Dugtrio dying. So now he's got to roll on a little more than 33% because he can crit Earthquake. This was a promising start, and now it's just become kind of depressing. So, there's Earthquake. Calm Mind. The escape's unscathed. So now it's going to be up to... Well, it's not all bad, because he can, now he can explode something with meta. Actually, no, I don't think Bliss was bad there, because, if meta comes in afterwards, then you've got a problem, because if, I guess you sack Dugtrio and hope for Scarm to thaw, and Metagross would die to Spikes. Because you can't just, switch right to Scarm, so... it's Toxic Rest Ice Beam. That seems so out of place, man. I don't even know what he's trying to catch with that team. So... yeah, okay, so now he goes to... Well, Scarm got more lefties, so that's helpful. Now, switch to Metagross, yep. Blissey will, even if it's Bold Max Blissey, which is very, very rare, but then Metagross's Meteor Mash is going to be doing, I mean, it doesn't kill unless absolute max, but then there's also the risk of Boom. So I really think he should just go to Dugtrio, because in between, Meteor Mash accuracy, and Scarm just being a tank. Why did he go right to now he loses to... Oh my god. This is so depressing. Yeah, it should have been Dugtrio. On the other hand, I guess it should have been Meteor Mash with Metagross, I think. Sorry for the silence, I'm just thinking really hard. Well, it's not Curse Pert, and it has to rest, and Doug Trio is going to do a lot of damage to it because it's less bulky than Coon. So yeah, Golden Sun just goes Blissey here, and why is he going Doug Trio? Oh, I guess he outruns with Blissey. So, versus Swampert, then Earthquake's doing it's doing 38.3 to 45.2 to Swampert with 252, 216, which it's very likely to not be doing that much. Yeah, I guess the game was over no matter what then. Um, Also, neither Earthquake nor Ice Beam are guaranteed to kill a bulkless Dugtrio. So yeah, Dugtrio is definitely the move. It's a three-hit KO. Oh, that's Adamant, sorry. Okay, still, it's doing 34 241 versus the same per. I doubt it's that bulky. So, which is a 67% chance to 3-hit KO. So, and he can. The thing is, he gets several chances to go for that Earthquake because he can just switch out to Blissey and keep forcing Pert to rest. So I think this is really, really not good. So if he Meteor Mashed and just kept taking down Scarm, then actually something interesting is that if he took down Scarm, then he would have because something interesting is with Toxic, if Pert got managed to get healthy somehow, then he could have Toxiced the Blissey, and then that would have, been the end of that. But I'm trying to figure out a situation where that would have happened, because he's so pressured by seismic tosses that he lives two seismic tosses. So, hmm, um, I guess the move Moltres would have, uh, yeah, Moltres forces Rock Slide or Blissey, and then you switch to Pert. Because if he earthquakes there, then he's just insane. I don't think Danilo would have made that play. So and then Hurts at the same HP it is right now, and then he toxics, and then he has to rest after the second seismic toss. But um, wow, actually Earthquake has the much higher role of killing. I don't know if Golden Sun knew that, but yeah, now this game's over. Yeah, so he would have had to Toxic Bliss, rest, and then be out of range. Oh, I guess it could be non-Earthquake Moltres. Surf Ice Beam, Surf or Hydro Ice Beam Toxic is fine. Um, no, Ice Beam was good there because he had to freeze, so he could rest. Because otherwise Blissey just comes in and picks it off. So good desperation move. Um, Daniel's saying how he wants to win with Aerial Ace, which, jeez. Anyway, Will-O-Wisp. I guess maybe he could have banked on a roll that Earthquake and Seismic Toss wouldn't KO, but we don't know his EVs, so yeah, I guess the situation I was thinking of, you Toxic Bliss, you then you rest, and then you just then you have the upper hand in the uh thing. The whatchamacallit? Uh he would have had an upper hand in the Doug Trio Blissey stalling out per race, so that I think that might have been a better move. And if he did go to Blissey on the double down, then he could have gone to Pert, survived two seismic tosses, and rested. But anyway, God, this game's made me kind of feel sad. But In any case, thank you guys for watching. It did have its good points, so thank you guys for watching. Um, and I'll catch you next time.